how did President Reagan learn of you?
I don't really know fully. I have a suspicion. I was a student in 1980 at the Naval War College up in Newport, Rhode Island, and one of the things that we had to do was write a paper about some future requirement in the military. Mm-hmm. And I wrote about and this is talking about connections. I suggested in that paper that if we're going to build a Navy, rebuild the Navy, that you need to bring back the battleships because the Marines desperately needed naval gunfire support if we ever had another shoot-'em-up. And of course, we ended up with a bunch. And so John Lehman, who becomes Secretary of the Navy, adopts that idea, seeks out the guy who wrote the paper, because our names weren't on these things, and has me come down for an interview. And I said, you know, I really don't want to, I'm a really good infantry officer. Without any hubris, I know what I'm doing out in the battlefield. I don't want a staff job. He said, fine, go back and tell the Commandant that. Commandant of the Marine Corps at the time was Robert H. Barrow, Navy Cross recipient, a legend in the Marine Corps. And General Barrow was about 6'4", had the Navy Cross twice, and he was the successor to the Commandant who was preceded him, General Wilson, who had the Medal of Honor and the Navy Cross. I mean, this is the kind of people that led the Marine Corps in those days. And at that point, I go back to see General Barrow, and he's got on his desk, he didn't wear his stars on his collar. So if he took off his jacket and you didn't know who he was, you might just assume he's just kind of an old geezer just walking around. Because a veteran of World War II and Korea, and a legend from being a regimental commander in Vietnam. So he's been in 3 wars. And General Barrow says, he's got on his desk my service record book, and he's got on his desk a set of my orders to the White House. And he said, I understand, he's from Louisiana. I understand, Brother North, you don't want to go to the White House. I said, no, sir, I don't. But why? I said, because I'm a good infantry officer, and that's where I can best serve the needs of the Marine Corps in our country, sir. Picks up a piece of paper, hands it to me, says, carry out your orders.